Hey buddy, my name is Sang and I am Altaholik. Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm just messing around on my slow server again. Just running around and I really had nothing crazy to talk about. Just kind of venting and talking about my channel and just chatting it up with you guys. Let me show you guys what I'm doing right now. Just kind of test out something kind of cool. Um, Excuse me. Okay, so uh, I remade Ducat from Wafer Saving. Made him as my shaman. And then I made Basha. These are all my bots here. Basha is like my semi main on P99 back a couple years back. It's my bard. Then I made Scream. You guys seen Scream on Wafer Saving. And then okay. And I made Yubin. Yubin is my first main on live back in the day. He was level 56 or something like that. A little bit after Lukeland came out. Then you guys know Raven. Made Raven from Wafer Saving. So I figured I'd put them all together in a group and see how they turn out. Right now I am level 20. Last time I was playing these guys, we went to Field of Bones, went to Kern's Tower, and then I figured I'd come over here to what's this place called? Pluto Caverns. So that's where I'm at now. I just came to the entrance back there and I was working my way up the side here. And right now they're pretty much they're overpowered really. I'm focusing on pretty much killing things and just collecting loot for them. You see here that Yubin's pretty much naked. These other guys, they have some Lodokai armor that I got from killing the bandits in the Shadow Weaver Thicket, I think is what it's called. Remember that gear? I modified some of that gear they dropped. Had some stats on it, but I lowered it so it's not too crazy. Even Ducat's wearing some of the stuff. That this piece has extra stats on it, but I used to have like ridiculous stats over here, regeneration and everything. So I cleaned them up a little bit. And as I find replacements, I'm actually putting it on. And most of the stuff I'm replacing is, I'm replacing with Defiant armor as I find it. I'm doing it for myself, but I'm also doing it for the bots too. But yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm just wandering around with these guys. I really don't have to do a whole lot. It kind of takes away the fun of playing Everquest when I can just go ahead and send them in. Every now and then they have a fight where I actually have to heal and stuff, but see this, I can just stand here and they're just killing it. Which is kind of boring, you know. I can go fight some harder mobs, or I can dial back my bots. But yeah, that's pretty much what I'm doing. I'm just kind of running around. Really, I'm not doing nothing crazy. I'm off today, so I'm just kind of chilling out for a little bit. I'm gonna go cook for me and Evie. She's working right now, so probably after this video, I'll go ahead and make something for us to eat. But anyway, I was thinking to myself about a couple of things I want to work on for my channel, and I considered starting a whole new channel for Linux and other projects I want to work on. I know on this channel, most of you guys are subscribed because you want to see Everquest content. The whole entire time, the only thing I've been posting was Everquest stuff. The other games I tried to start posting, no one really wanted to watch, or at least weren't interested in it. But at the same time, a part of me was kind of like, well, I think a lot of people say just play what you want, die this will be there, and this, which is really true. I guess my fear is that, the Altaholik thing happens all the time where I'll play a character on EverQuest and get bored and I go, you see me play another character later on. I'm the same way when it comes to playing games. I'll play a game for like a week or a couple of days and I'm like, nah, gotta go back and play some EverQuest or play something else. And I think when you play like a solo player game, a lot of times people, they watch because they're invested. They want to see you complete the game. And I think I don't have the mental focus for that. I get bored. Sometimes when I want to play a game, I just want to play a game. And you might see me start off strong with like starting playing the Horizon Zero Dawn or something like that. You see me play one or two episodes of that, and then they say, it's EverQuest and you never hear nothing about the game again. So I'm kind of, I don't want to say I'm worried about it. It's just kind of like, I don't want to waste somebody's time, I guess. I guess is how I kind of feel about it. And I mean, I guess it's not nobody, I'm not wasting nobody's time, but I would hate for somebody to subscribe to me because they see I'm playing Horizon Zero Dawn and I never play the game again. I don't know. That's just me. And maybe I'm overthinking it. But at the same time though, there's projects here I want to do. There's a whole series I'm trying to put together. It's a bigger project than I initially envisioned. And as I'm putting the parts together, every day I'm doing a little bit of something. I'm just realizing how big the project is, which I like having projects. If I don't have a project, I really am like, I'm bored. I get depressed. I have a whole lot of stuff. Not that I'm crazy in the head or nothing like that, but if I don't have a focus, something to work on, then I get in this rut and I get kind of, I don't want to say depressed, but I get really down, like I have nothing to do. I need to find something to do. And that's where some of these videos I make are really my thing to do. I enjoy making the videos. I enjoy the interactions I get from people who watch my videos. I love seeing people watch, like seeing the views on them. I like seeing people get a thumbs up or whatever. I like kind of being part of that community. I feel like I'm one of the EverQuest content creators, which is, I don't know, I think that's kind of cool. I don't know if, people, when they think EverQuest, they think, oh yeah, I was saying the Altaholik, but I do. I feel like that, I guess. And I kind of like that, being part of a community. I never thought it'd be something important to me, but I guess it really is. But on the other hand, as I've been working on this emulated server, and I'm just doing it for myself, I'm getting people who are subscribing and watching my videos, and they don't say much, but people are watching my content, and I'm getting thumbs up, which I appreciate. And I got 82 subscribers as of recording this video right now. And I don't like constantly talking about my subscribers, but it blows me away that earlier this year I was kind of just casually putting out stuff, and I think I had like 40, 50 something subscribers, and here I am doubled, and I don't know, it's amazing to me. But yeah, I mean, I'm assuming I'm keeping you guys motivated who are actually working on your servers too, which I'm glad I can help with that. I don't know everything. I say this all the time. I don't know a lot of anything about this stuff. I'm just a guy who wanted to have his own server too, and I'm doing that. I got 2 servers running. I even have one in a VM that I like to tinker with. It's easier to do a VM because I can just copy the whole VM from scratch before I do anything stupid on it. And I'm always using Copilot. Copilot will just jerk you around all over the place. So it's always good to have a backup. But anyway, man, I'm hoping like when I play that people are getting motivated or finding something that, they're finding motivation and to work on their server. You know what I'm saying? If that makes any sense. But speaking of, I mean, like the other games, I was talking about playing other games and stuff. I'm not even playing the game. I'm really just standing here about to do all the work. But yeah, I want to play other games, which I can always do. I don't have to record it. I can just play it whenever I want to. But I like to share my content. I want to share the stuff I'm making, but I don't know how I'm gonna angle it. I don't know how I'm gonna go about doing it, because when I play EverQuest, I have a feeling, I have an emotion, or I have a concept in mind when I play a character. So when I make a video, sometimes I try to portray that theme in the video. Like when I was playing Scream on Wafers Haven, I had little intro clips, and I was going to different places and camping certain environments, and I had a little theme music and stuff, and then background music, and it was something more. And I was still roughly figuring out the editing process, the production process, I guess you can say. And I liked having a series and not being like a lot of other people. And it's nothing against these other people who make videos. Some people just get on and say, hey, I'm doing this quest, and they go do a quest. Or, they do a little bit of A and B. They say, hey, I'm doing this quest. or I'm camping this area, or they have I'm thinking about like Flats. I don't know if you guys watch Flats. He did a lot of P99 content, playing a monk and stuff. And he would be like, "Hey, I went here, I killed this guy, I did my epic, I did all this crazy stuff." And he'll make another character and do the same thing, and which is really cool. But my videos are just kind of like, "Hey, I'm over here, I'm doing this. I found this weapon. Look how cool this is. I got this gear on," and people liked watching it, and I thought I was really crazy. You know, I guess there's a place for everybody on YouTube. You know. But I guess my thing also is that I like to use Linux. I mention Linux all the time. I think every video I probably mention Linux in some shape or form. I see a couple of my subscribers actually subscribe to some Linux content creators, and yeah, no one says anything in the comments, but apparently they are interested in Linux, and maybe because my videos doesn't have the tag of Linux in it, because all my videos I make are on Linux. I considered making a whole new channel and doing Linux content. But I don't think I have, my perspective is really what most people who are interested in reviewing are interested in, or I guess what I would talk about in Linux would not be very important to the guys who really are into Linux. And I think my angle would be more about using Linux on a daily basis. You know, when you see a lot of these reviews out there and people use Linux, they have a habit of just open up a terminal and start, doing a bunch of commands and stuff. And it makes outsiders who are not used to Linux think that you have to know how to use a terminal command. You got to do all these special craziness. And my setup is literally, I think I do go in a terminal. I do. But it's usually for flatpaks. Unless I have an operating system that already has a flatpak in it. I realize I'm talking to people who are probably not familiar with Linux, so I don't want to go into that. But what I'm trying to say is that I keep my installs and my operating system very simple. I have my essentials. I have my web browser. I have Steam. I have Lutris for playing other games, and I have OBS. I have Kdenlive for editing videos, and I'm running. I said this before. I'm running 2 different computers. I'm playing on this one, and the recording you guys are seeing right now is being recorded on my second computer. And I do all my editing and stuff on the second computer over here, and my gameplay is here. I do all my music listening to, movie watching on here, and video game playing on here. And then my other one is for editing and recording. But what I'm trying to say is that I survive on Linux just fine. Which may sound easy coming from somebody who's running their own EQEMU server. If this is difficult for you, you're probably like, yeah, if you can run a server, yeah, of course you can install Linux and survive on it. Which it's not as crazy as you think it is. I'm not a super smart guy. I'm not dumb, but I'm not a genius. And for somebody who doesn't know anything about computers or Linux, I might sound like a genius. But I know what I know. Some people know how to change a tire on a car. Some people know how to change the oil, change your brakes and stuff like that. And I mean, I could do it with a YouTube video. I could change the tire, but you know what I'm saying? Change oil or whatever. Some people know how to do it. And I'm like, man, that guy's like a man's man right there. Not to say a woman can't do it, but you know what I mean? It's a man's man who can go change a tire or go, change the oil himself. That's crazy. Or somebody can go cut down a tree or whatever. And, we all got our skills. And mine just happens to be messing with computers. And there's plenty of people a lot smarter than me who do this stuff. Ringo. Okay, Ringo. But, yeah, I considered starting a whole other channel, and then at the same time I thought about just kind of incorporating it here. Maybe I'll throw in a little how-tos in between my game content. And I only think about incorporating them together because like I said, I seen somebody comment before, not on my video, but on somebody else's video, or nothing to do with gaming, but it was more about using Linux instead of using Windows, and they were just like, yeah, Linux is only good for running a server and your router and stuff like that. And I'm like, what? Like, I'm literally watching. I'm on Linux right now. I'm watching YouTube. I'm playing video games. I'm doing stuff like that. And it's not that a guy is stupid or dumb or he lacks intelligence or anything like that. It's just, it's not, you don't hear about Linux on the media, on TV. It's not on, you don't see it on Twitter front page. Yeah, Linux is doing XYZ. It's just, when you do see it, especially at work, you'll see it like on a Cisco router, or you see, maybe in a work environment, but you don't see it necessarily for home and recreational use. And if you go look up Linux right now on YouTube, you'll see a lot of people who are doing projects. I'm making a home server. I'm doing this on Linux. Um, you'll see some desktop environment stuff, but then if you're watching it, like, you're curious, and the first thing you see them do is open up a terminal and they start typing in a bunch of commands, like, we'll do some software. Oh, look at this kernel. And they're going to talk about the kernels, and they're going to talk about a bunch of stuff that you're kind of like, well, I need to know all that to run it. Like, you don't. A lot of people who get on Linux are very privacy focused. Um, they like to tweak and modify their operating system to a way that they like. But what an average viewer doesn't realize is that you don't have to do that. You can literally install it, the kernel, which I know most people are not familiar with that, but a kernel has most of the drivers and stuff built into it, and or it has the operating systems designed to look at your hardware and says, oh, you need this stuff, and it just downloads it. It puts it in your computer and you're good to go. Majority of the time. Not all the time, but majority. I would say about 90% of the time is like that. Back in the day, you had to go find the drivers and install everything. And like I said, for the last about 10 years, roughly, I haven't had that much of an issue. I literally just installed operating system and I'm up and running. Yeah, there are some times where I have to tweak a couple things, but if you go get the main hitters like Ubuntu and you get Fedora, and there's a couple of them out there, but I don't want to get onto that. But yeah, anybody can run Linux. Some people don't know how to go about installing it, because when you get Windows, you get like you either get a disk, or you get you get the ISO, and they might have like a little uh, executable that you can download, and it installs it for you. It does everything. They make it really simple for you to get Windows up and running. And Linux, there's multiple ways you can do it. I found the best way to use Ventoy on a thumb drive. I mentioned that before when you're making your own server, but it's not difficult. Running Linux and getting away from Windows is really easy. I think a lot of times people just don't have the patience to learn something new. And what's really funny, I'm going on a rant here, but I thought it was really funny because I was talking to Evie about this a while back, and I hated it. Back when Windows came out with or Microsoft came out with their own Windows Phone. BlackBerry came out with one too. Well, they had a phone. They've been had a phone. Ooh, my arm piece. Is the same one I have here? Oh, so okay. So I can replace. I want to go. Yeah. All right. Upgrade. But yeah. So when everybody was putting out phones, they had Microsoft. They had their phone out. BlackBerry had their phone. They always had a phone out, but they had they made this really cool. I thought it was a really cool one, but it was a phone. I might have mentioned this in the last video. I feel like I'm repeating myself, but BlackBerry had a phone that was a hybrid between the BlackBerry operating system. It's called BlackBerry 10, and it had its BlackBerry Foundation operating system built with security and everything in mind. Then it had this own emulator process where you can install Android apps on the BlackBerry. And I want to say about 90% of the apps will work. There was a couple that weren't working too well. But most people complained because they didn't have their Twitter, they didn't have their Facebook, they didn't have their, whatever, Instagram on it. And I found the Windows phone was having just about the same situation, but yeah, it was basically the same situation. And the thing that irked me is that when you saw the comments for these videos, when I watched them on YouTube, it was always somebody in the comments like, yeah, but where's Instagram? How come I can't get Facebook, like the apps? And I was like, I don't know. To me, I was like, you go into a whole nother environment. One, you can use a web browser. And back then, web browser was okay, but it wasn't the best when it came to people, the not the creators, the developers for Facebook and all stuff like that. They had the stuff on the computer, on the web page. It was good. On the phone, it wasn't as smooth, or you weren't getting certain notifications and stuff, which I understand that. Um, so people were frustrated with that. But then they were like, well, I don't have my games. I don't have certain things I like to use on Android or on the iPhone. And Microsoft had their way of doing certain things that was, how can I put this? There's applications that were designed to work for the Windows phone that work just fine. There was applications that work for the BlackBerry phone that work just fine. They just weren't called Twitter. They weren't called whatever they were. They were good. Like, all right, for example, again, going to right here, Microsoft had this really cool feature I thought was great. It had a built-in Facebook account on your phone. I think they probably do it now, probably on Androids and stuff. But what it was like, for example, you have all your friends and family or your contacts in your Facebook, right? Well, on your phone, you sign in your Microsoft account and you sign in your Google account, you sign in with your Facebook account. You have all these accounts you can sign into on your phone. When you go to your contacts show up, or your Facebook friends all show up in your contacts. So even if you don't have their phone number, you can still, within the operating system itself, you can send a message to them and it goes through Facebook. If they're a Facebook friend, for example. So you click on your contact and then you just type in, hey, what's going on, blah, blah, you hit send, and it goes to them as a private message on Facebook. It was built into the operating system, which is really freaking cool. Same with Twitter. And you can look at your Twitter feed you go to your contacts, you can go to your, I think it's like social media. There's another tab in there, I can't remember what it was. You can go in there, you see your Facebook feed, you can see your Twitter feed, and I don't know if Instagram, or I didn't have Instagram, but you can see these accounts built into your phone without having to go download an app and doing it. All you do is sign in and the information was there. And I thought that was really cool, but people were mad because they wanted the actual app. They wanted certain features that Windows Phone didn't have, which was really annoying because to me, the phones are fairly new and they're still being developed, but people are complaining about the little stuff to me. Let it keep developing, and today they've probably been a lot further off. I know Microsoft was pushing for that whole computer on the phone thing, which I think they could have semi pulled it off. But now they're doing everything that's like on the internet anyway. What's this? Shadow Knight. Bard. I forgot who I'm gonna give this to. But yeah, I'm sorry. It's a big rant about nothing. But I always feel like people don't give things a shot. And that's what I'm getting to. They don't give it a try. They don't want nothing new. New stuff is scary. What she got on there? Sometimes it's just a matter of being patient, All right, so she has Lodokai on. And who else was that? My bard. My bard at? Who's standing inside her? Is this function? Yeah, it is. Okay. What is on your head? Yeah, you got Lodokai on too. I think my tank would need it more. 20. There you go, stream. Ooh, cool little helmet effect there. All right. Yeah. I mean, you know, I just wish people would give things a shot. Give it a try. You never know. And nowadays, it seems so much easier to try things out. I mean, I know a whole operating system in a computer. You know, for some people, it's just, you know, no, I gotta learn how to use it, navigate it, and stuff. And it's not that hard. It's really not. But yeah, that's basically. I don't want to overtalk that. I mean, I probably talked enough about that. But I did think about doing videos about that. Um, I might start notating what operating system I'm on. Um, it's usually, I mean, it's obviously it's Linux, but it's lately I've been jumping around. I haven't been um, I haven't been a distro hopper uh, in a while, and Evie kind of got on me about that. It's like, yeah, that's all you do is change distros. I'm like, no, I don't. But I guess I have been. I've really been trying to modify my my gaming computer and my studio computer, and trying to make the resources lighter and lighter, and try to get it to just a way that I want, and also experimenting with different operating systems. I tried Deep in Linux for a little bit. I tried a couple Fedora spins and OpenSUSE and Pop! OS and um, Ubuntu, Linux Mint. Right now I'm on Pico OS, GNOME. Anybody who knows that, but yeah, you know, I like to try stuff. But I think what I'm gonna start doing, I know no one's asking for it, but if people are ever curious, whenever I play a game or I post something, I might have like in the corner of the screen, hey, you know, I might say Linux, you know, Linux Mint, or I might say Debian or whatever operating system I'm on. I'm gonna name what it is and what version it is. I probably won't talk about it too much, but I'll have it posted there so anybody viewing can actually see that, you know, hey, it's possible I can play a game on there, you know. Now if the comments start coming up and say, hey, how did you get the game to play? Then I can start sharing more information, you know. The hell? Anyway, I'm talking about nothing. Like I said, I have a project in mind. I'm working on this server, and I'm just doing this for the fun of it. But honestly, Evie's having a good time playing on it, and so am I. There's really not much for me to do on it. Ooh, question. I can get a my bard. I'm having a good time on it. Evie's having a good time. Um, I'm always trying to make changes, but you know, I guess it's not always necessary. Evie says she's cool with the way things are. Um, every now and then she'll make a request, and which is totally fine. You know, but yeah. I mean, it wasn't meant to be. You know, when I make my videos, I guess it wasn't all of it wasn't meant to be like a teaching thing. It was more just, hey, this is what I'm doing. Um, when I did show how to make the server together, I realized that a lot of videos that were coming out were just really outdated, or they weren't giving enough detail. They were kind of just, you know, or they're kind of just leaving you to. They just assumed you know how to do everything. So I try to make it really simple for everybody to understand it. Um, if I come across anything else, obviously I'll make a video about it. I just don't want to get too technical, I guess is what I'm saying. I like sharing stuff, but you know, when it gets too technical, when I have to, you know, doing super code stuff and stuff that it would require you to learn a whole new skill to do, that's why I probably need to stop. I guess a whole new skill set is what I'm trying to say. I gotta become a computer programmer in order to run a server. Which, you know, yeah, there is a lot of stuff you gotta learn if you want to do the more, you know, mainstream type stuff that you see the big servers do. Those guys, they know exactly what they're doing. They're programming, making scripts, and doing stuff like that. And I wasn't trying to do that. I was trying to have my little Everquest in my pocket, so I can pull up and play whenever I want to. And I got it. I'm happy with it. The one thing I do want to show you guys, which I know I mentioned this before, is modifying spells, creating spells. Uh, It's not really hard. It's just the understanding what you're doing. Um, like I said before, you have to create the item, create the spell, so like a scroll. Then you gotta get the scroll effect and the name and everything, and then you gotta add it to the class that is for ranger or freaking bard or whatever. And I think making a bard song, I, I made a spell. I made a spell for a wizard before, but making a bard song, I don't know how different that would be because bard spells, when they just play in a loop. When you do the other spells, you click them and you cast them, and that's it. So I don't know how they go about doing that. There might be a little thing you hit it and say bard or whatever, but I don't think bards need any more spells. They got more than enough stuff. But I know I'm gonna mess with a wizard later. But when I do that, I'll make a video about it and I'll show you guys what I did and something to look out for. But yeah, I'm sorry. I'm just talking about anything here. I'm gonna go ahead and cut the video off here. Yeah, that's basically it, guys. Mess around on the server, run around killing stuff, buying time. I'll probably go ahead and make something to eat. Maybe I'll figure out this whole spell thing. Maybe I'll make another video on my fast-paced server. I don't know. We'll see. I'm just talking. I'm a little tired too. So anyway, I'll see y'all later on. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. I will see you next time. Peace.